Hi everyone, very good evening and welcome back to CGB Mentors. In this particular class, we are going to cover the part 2 of your SIDBI PYQs analysis. ठीक है, हम इसमें part 2 cover करेंगे and we will see the questions. Now because this part contains of numericals, right, and the other financial data, so I have tried to cover this particular part with the detailed analysis. ठीक है, so we will quickly see the kind of questions asked along with what are the suggested answers for those particular questions, right. So this is going to be the agenda for today. Now let's do question number 41 because up to 40 we have already done in our previous class, right. Just a second. Wait. So yes, we have question number 41. It asks about the interest rate which is charged under Khadi Vikas Yojana. A straight question which asks about the what is the interest rate which is given to the loan. Now you might have seen that whatever questions have been asked, they are generally quite factual in nature. और अगर कोई भी लोन से रिलेटेड इंटरेस्ट रेट है या प्रोविजंस हैं, दे हैव बीन प्रोमिनेंटली आस्क्ड, ठीक है, वो आपका प्रोमिनेंटली पूछा ही गया है. नाउ नेक्स्ट वी हैव व्हाट इज द मैक्सिमम असिस्टेंस फॉर डेवलपमेंट ऑफ न्यू इंडस्ट्रियल स्टेट अंडर प्रमोशन ऑफ MSMEs इन नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न रीजन एंड सिक्किम विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द प्रोजेक्ट कॉस्ट. आपसे पूछा है मैक्सिमम असिस्टेंस क्या दी जा रही है नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न रीजन में with the for the new industrial state under the promotion of MSMEs. Again a factual data which has asked you that what is the funding pattern. Straight away MSME आपकी policies and schemes से question है ये. Government of India funds 90% of the project cost and remaining is given by the state governments. Next question is as per the public procurement policy for the micro and small enterprises, central public sector undertakings must procure how much of the total annual purchases from the MSME products. This is covered under our MSME policy document. वहाँ पे ये आपका जो portion है वो covered है. Now clearly again they have focused on the number. So whatever document you are reading, you cannot miss the numbers written over there. So public procurement policy, it has mandated the central public sector undertakings to purchase at least 25% of the procurements from the MSMEs. अगर आप MSMEs पढ़ रहे हैं, you have to be thorough with the numbers. Now next we have the cost of Z gold certification, zero defect, zero effect certification का cost क्या है? Bronze, silver, gold, right? You have been asked about the gold certification cost. Direct question, direct answer, right? The MSME note, now all these questions are in category 1, that is MSME schemes and policy. MSME innovative scheme is a combination of what scheme? So 3 schemes, incubation, IPR and design. ठीक है, इसका combination है. Next question for MSME innovative financial assistance to host institute for developing the idea shall be provided up to maximum of per idea to the host institute. Again आपसे number पूछा है and over here they have focused on the financial assistance that is being provided. See, not just the numbers but the kind of topics they have focused on. Interest, provisions, right, loan amount, assistance amount, project amount, right, all these are the things which are in focus. So for financial assistance under the incubation component, 15 lakh rupees per idea is being granted to the host institutes, right. Next is MSME when shifted to higher levels can continue to avail of all non-tax benefits. It was in before the reclassification of how many years from the date of such upward change, right. So as per MSME Act, again comes from the MSME Act, the MSME that grow and move to a higher category retain the non-tax benefit of their previous category for 3 years. मतलब कि आपको dwarf नहीं रहने दिया जाए और आप बहुत ज़्यादा focused हो, determined हो to achieve the higher category. So for that particular purpose 3 years for 3 years you can enjoy the non-tax benefits that were applicable to your previous category, जो आपकी previous category पे applicable थे. Now next is startup status of a company is revoked if the turnover exceeds or company is registered for these many years or more for incorporation. So आपका ये Startup India initiative का straight away question है, and this is about the eligibility for the benefits, right? Startup के केस में अगर हम eligibility benefits के बारे में बात करें, then this particular things comes up, right? So if your turnover exceeds this much, it has completed this many years for incorporation, so this is what after this you will not be eligible for the recognition. Microfinance loan is defined as collateral free loan. Microfinance loan MSME scheme से सीधा आता है. So microfinance regulations, these loans are collateral free, right? Households with an annual income of less than 3 lakhs, they are eligible for it. Eligibility. So out of this question, what is the thing that you have to take away? Whenever you are reading any scheme, whenever you are reading about any particular government step, talk about the eligibility first, because these things have been asked in the case of startup also, and then over here also when they are talking about the microfinance related loans. जब microfinance related loans के बारे में बात की जा रही है, this is what they are talking. Now next is the category 2, banking and the credit norms. So over here first question is maximum permissible bank finance के turnover method के under what is the bank finance that would be provided as a percentage of sales. So MPBF under the Nayak committee turnover method, how much it is calculated? 20% of the projected annual turnover. सीधा आपके PDF में दिया हुआ था ये जो आपकी condition है, right? This was given along with the calculation. This was straight away given in your PDF, and this is a pretty direct question. Next is current assets are 6 crores and current liabilities other than the bank finance is 3 crores. So what is maximum permissible finance? So over here you have to go as per the options, right? So I have used second method over here. Take 75% of the current assets, 6 crores ka 75%, 4.5 crores. Subtract the current liabilities, you have got, this is the bank finance that you will be getting, 1.5 crores. Obviously the core current assets have not been given over here. यहाँ पे आपको core current assets का कुछ भी data नहीं दिया हुआ है. So that is why method 3 is something that you cannot even apply. आप apply भी नहीं कर सकते हो method 3 को. Now next you have monthly cash inflow 10 lakhs, cash outflow 12 lakhs. वर्किंग कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट एज पर कैश बजट मेथड. देखो सिंपल सा बोला है, कैश बजट के हिसाब से आपका वर्किंग कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट क्या होगा? व्हाट इज योर आउटफ्लो वर्सेस व्हाट इज योर इनफ्लो, एंड व्हाटएवर कैश गैप इज, दिस इज व्हाट यू रिक्वायर फ्रॉम द बैंक. ठीक है, this much of the working capital support is something that you require from the bank. Apart from that, if I have now see this data in such a light that if I have such much this much of expenses, right, and I'm already getting 10 lakhs, so obviously I need the money for the remaining amount. ठीक है, मुझे बाकी के पैसों के लिए ज़रूरत पड़ेगी. Now we have working capital provided by the bank under turnover method is calculated. कैसे calculate किया जाता है? वही question है, 20% of turnover as per the Nayak committee. Now maximum loan that can be assessed following the Nayak committee turnover method, आपके notes में mention था that Nayak committee recommendations they apply to the borrowers with a working capital limit up to 5 crores. ठीक है, above 5 crores bank adopt cash budget or traditional assessment methods. तो कहाँ तक है? 5 crores. Now which of the following institution is not a direct party to letter of credit? देखो letter of credit की direct parties कौन सी होती हैं? Buyer या importer, seller या exporter, the issuing bank, advising or confirming bank. This is what we have read in the letter of credit document also. We have not talked about insurance company as a direct party. ठीक है, insurance company यहाँ पे direct या primary party के role में नहीं आती है. That is why it's not a direct party. Insurance companies may provide a cover, but they are not a direct party to the letter of credit. Now a delay of 31 to 60 days in payment of loan obligation will be classified as what kind of SMA? So many of the times, even if many people will be confused, not try to be confused, but they will be confused that what is SMA 0, SMA 1, SMA 2, ठीक है. So up to 30 days SMA 0, 31 to 60 days SMA 1, 61 to 90 days it is SMA 2. Post that it becomes an NPA, ठीक है. उसके बाद में वो क्या बन जाता है, NPA बन जाता है. Now this question, because it has been given in the day format, that is why it becomes more challenging. Now the ad hoc limit sanction to a client is considered as NPA if not renewed within how many days? See, RBI norm है, credit limits must be reviewed within 3 months. Beyond 180 days, if it is not renewed, it is classified as NPA. अगर आप credit limits को review नहीं कर रहे हैं तो the days time is 180 days. Now what is provisioning requirement on a loan classified as standard asset giving to MSME enterprise? देखो यहाँ पे आपसे provisioning norms पूछे हैं, ठीक है. So over here, if it is performing asset, no default beyond 90 days, provisioning norm would be 0.25% of the outstanding. ठीक है, इतना आपको outstanding maintain करना है. Whether you are reading the PSL norms or you are talking about the provision coverage, you always have to check the MSME in consideration. आपको हमेशा MSME को consideration में रखना है because the whole chapter is about that only. ठीक है, पूरा का पूरा चैप्टर ही उस बारे में है. नेक्स्ट इज विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग मेंशन लोन गिवन बाय द बैंक विल नॉट बी क्लासिफाइड एज नॉन परफॉर्मिंग व्हेन एनी अदर फैसिलिटी ग्रांटेड टू द बोरोवर इज क्लासिफाइड एज NPA. आप देखो, हमें पता है दैट इफ आई हैव गिवन यू वन लोन, राइट, यू हैव 3 loans from my bank and you have defaulted on one. Obviously your position is bad and you are going to default on the other 2 also. तो बाकी 2 को भी हम क्या करते हैं, NPA डिक्लेयर कर देते हैं. But over here, normally if one facility is NPA, we declare all the other facilities extended to the person as NPA. All other facilities, जैसे कि मान लीजिए आपने कैश क्रेडिट दिया हो, जैसे कि आपने मान लीजिए वर्किंग कैपिटल लोन दिया हो, टर्म लोन दिया हो, एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा. But the bills discounted under LC accepted by another bank, they are treated separately. Why? Because here the security is LC, right, through the another bank. तो जब तक कि LC डिसऑनर नहीं होगा ये भी NPA नहीं बनेगा, ठीक है, ये भी आपका NPA नहीं बनेगा. Now next is if the value of security held by a bank is less than what percentage, then we can classify it as a lost asset. So in this case, RBI says that if the realizable value of security is less than 10% of the exposure, account will be treated as lost asset. क्या मानेंगे हम account को? Lost asset मानेंगे, ठीक है. आपसे कहा गया है, suppose obviously we know that if we have the collateral, our account is secured up to that particular extent. But what if the security that has been kept, it's just having a value 10%, which was originally stated. So in that particular case, 100% of the provisioning would be required. Now a bill discounted or purchased with recourse by banks, if it becomes a non-performing asset when the bill remains overdue for a more than period. What is the time period? NPA classification say, now you have seen that at least 3 questions have been asked till this point. अब तक 3 सवाल पूछे जा चुके हैं आपके NPA classification से. Be it we talk about the SMA classification or we talk about the provisioning norms or we talk about that what kind of facilities can be declared as NPA if the borrower defaults in just one facility. तो क्या हम बाकी facilities को भी NPA declare कर सकते हैं या फिर नहीं? So over here a bill which has been discounted, overdue bill, right? For how long we can call it as an NPA? So it becomes NPA if unpaid for 90 days from the due date. ठीक है, हम NPA declare कर देंगे if it remains the unpaid for a period of 90 days. Now what is the purpose of performing due diligence by the banks? ठीक है, due diligence से आपका purpose पूछ रहे हैं. So this is done to assess the credit risk. It is very important that you check the financial health, right? You check the background, you check the credit worthiness of the borrower before lending, because you have to see for the defaults as well. Now talking about the category 3, that is asset classification and the prudential norms. Over here, first thing, you have a numerical on provision of loan given under the CGT MSE scheme. Now for the CGT MSE, I have told you in the MSME schemes part also that it is very very important. पहली चीज़ तो ये बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. दूसरी चीज़, the doc that we have provided, a numerical was given to you for the calculation purpose, and same thing by the people who have appeared from the for this particular exam, they have told us the same numerical has been replicated in the exam, right? I guess the figures were changed. I'm not very sure that whether the figures were changed or not, but the same numerical has been written over there. So yes, there was a question on the CGT MSE scheme, a numerical question, that what kind of credit guarantee is being provided without collateral, what is the coverage on that particular thing, question was there for the uncovered portion. Then there was numerical on provision for doubtful asset. ठीक है, इस पे इसके ऊपर आपका एक provision था. We do not have the question, so there is no point of discussing it. Shell bank का definition आपसे पूछा गया था. Shell bank means a bank with no physical presence and not affiliated with a regulated financial group, right? So this is often used for money laundering, just like shell companies. जिस तरीके से shell companies use की जाती हैं, in a similar manner this is used, and the purpose over here is to do the money laundering. So FATF and RBI prohibits obviously such kind of banks. Now question on the beneficial owner. Beneficial owner पे आपसे question पूछा गया था. So any individual holding more than 25% of the ownership or control under the PMLA Act, that person would be called as the beneficial owner. Again, definition based questions is something which is SIDBI's favorite topic. ठीक है, याद रखना है. Then we have trade finance and LC calculations. तो यहाँ पे आपसे एक सीधा सीधा numerical पूछा गया था. What would be the sum on inland LC? Monthly purchases and lead time given. So यहाँ पे monthly purchase, whatever the amount would be given, lead time plus the usance. अब इसका मतलब क्या होता है? Lead time means the time between placing an order and receiving the goods. देखो, जब तक goods नहीं मिलेंगे और goods मिल भी गए तो उसके बाद में you have the usance period, right? Suppose the lead time is 3 months. I have placed the order in July and I will get the delivery not in July, not in August, but in September. After September, I have 2 more months to pay to the supplier. ठीक है, 2 महीने और हैं जब तक मैं सप्लायर को पेमेंट करूंगी. जब डिलीवरी मिलेगी तभी तो पेमेंट करूंगी. When I will get the delivery, only after that I will pay to the supplier. Yes or no? So that is called as the usance period. Now this, and what is the amount for which I have purchased? 3 lakhs. ठीक है, इतने अमाउंट के लिए मैंने परचेज किया है. So this is the total amount for which I need the LC. ठीक है, इसके लिए मुझे letter of credit चाहिए होगा, right? Because this is the exposure that the bank will face. This is the exposure that the bank will face. Now you will say कि हम इसको accumulate क्यों कर रहे हैं? So you have to remember that every month I will order. हर महीने में order करूँगी और जो unpaid bill का burden है वो बैंक के ऊपर बढ़ता जाएगा. So this is the rationale behind this particular numerical that we will be discussing in our syllabus, right? Right now this is the formula for the inland LC calculation. Next time they have asked you number of LCs that needs to be issued. So simple formula, number of LCs. How many letter of credit? Annual purchases divided by what is your order quantity. ठीक है, those many number of LCs you will require. जितनी बार आप ऑर्डर करेंगे, the number of times you will order, that is how the number of times LC would be required. Plain basic common sense. जितनी बार ऑर्डर करेंगे उतनी बार हमें LC का रिक्वायरमेंट होगा, right? Then we have next question, LC limit given, annual purchases. ये आपसे same question repeat किया गया है. From company law section also there were some questions like which of the following document is not accepted as valid proof for opening a current account by sole proprietor. So KYC for sole proprietor is GST, Udyam, income tax, shop and establishment act, license. So this is something which is accepted. Minimum number of members in private company, very straight, very basic question has been asked. 2. What is the number of minimum maximum number of directors? So kam se kam 2 directors and maximum 15 directors has to be there. There was one question about the OPC and there were some questions about trades bill also. Next, for FEMA, an Indian citizen who stays in India for less than how many days is considered as non-resident? So 182. Simple question, even if you know the basic current affairs, then also you will be able to do it. And range of CIBIL score was asked from you. So this comes from the finance segment, and if you are somebody who is using the financial instruments, you would know this, that this is the range of the CIBIL score. 900 is maximum and 300 is the minimum. So this is it. They were all the numerical practical questions that have been asked in your SIDBI examination, right? Some were directly given in the PDF, some were derived from the PDF, some were you would have solved it through common sense also. So I am hoping that this discussion is going to help you, or at least this can chart a path for you for navigating through SIDBI syllabus. So thank you so much for joining in, and don't forget to like this video,